A massive cleanup operation is underway in China's central Henan province following devastating floods. Days of heavy rain have left parts of the region completely submerged. At least 56 people have been killed, hundreds of thousands displaced, and many are still unaccounted for. The situation in the more rural areas outside the provincial capital, Zhengzhou, is even worse than in the city. Mathias Bölinger traveled to the town of Mihe and he sent us this report.
Everything on the street has been washed away. Locals like this 74-year-old woman have never seen anything like it. Mrs. Zhang narrowly escaped the floodwaters when she fled upstairs.
I
was so scared. The water came rushing through so quickly, it carried away whole houses. And this survivor was one of the lucky ones. Her house is still here. 8 workers can reach her. This is what many roads here in the area look like. And many of the worst hit areas are still not accessible. In low-lying areas of Mihe, the situation is even worse. The residents are searching for their cars or what remains of them. Days after the floods, the power is still out here. Many are now staying with relatives or in relief shelters. I came down here to see the situation for myself. I can't go home. We have no power, no water, no gas. I couldn't cook a thing there. Townspeople say they weren't warned the floods would hit. This basement supermarket has been left full of water and debris. How many people have died in Mihe still remains unclear. And yet, more rain is forecast for the coming days.
Correspondent Mathias Bölinger, who filed that report, joins us now from Zhengzhou, the capital of Henan province. Hello to you, Mathias. So we can see right behind you still lots of water. What is the situation like where you are?
Well, I am now in the city center of Zhengzhou, and I'm very close to one of the worst hit areas. Very close to here, a tunnel was flooded. They are still pumping water out of the tunnel. It is not very clear how many people were trapped in that tunnel. It's a very long tunnel, more than 2 kilometers, and it was rush hour. The official death toll is 2 people in this tunnel, but this is not very many people here don't believe that. We can also see these holes in the street. The water has washed the soil from below, and there are many places around here where the roads are still blocked. Actually, over there, if you can see that this highways, which is usually exclusive to cars, has been open now to bikes and also to people, because it's the only way to get from one way to the other, because the road underneath is blocked. So there are many places like this still in Zhengzhou. The cleaning operations are going on, but there's a lot to do. The damage is quite big.
Yes, some really staggering devastation. In the capital, we also saw some images of what's happening outside the capital. Are we getting a clear idea of the scope of this disaster?
No, we are not getting a clear idea of the scope of this disaster yet, but we can get a clear idea of the geography of the areas affected, and that's an area of a few hundred square kilometers. Yesterday to this town of Mihe, we traveled about 100 kilometers west, and then another 100 kilometers west there is another city, and it's also heavily affected. And north it's about the same, it's about 200 kilometers north. So it's a huge area that is affected. Some places are still underwater, in others the water has drained. Today is a bright day here in Zhengzhou, so that gives of course hope that there will be time to clean up quicker and that this will go on. But there is not enough transparency from the side of the government to get at least an idea of how many people have been killed in this disaster.
Well, there are also critics saying that authorities were not prepared for this type of flooding. Is there an expression of public anger over this?
The Weather Bureau, the National Weather Bureau, has issued a red warning for that day, and the government has not sent kids home from school or made people leave office in time. So many people got hit in this disaster when they were going home from their office to their home. And all the people we spoke to said they had not received any warning of this. This was the heaviest downpour of rain that this region has seen in decades, possibly centuries. In just 3 days, the rain of 1 year came down on this city. There is anger, but as you know, in China, when people are angry at the government or when they pressure the government pressures the people back. So there is no public expression of anger. Of course, social media is tightly controlled, but there is, of course, criticism leaking through here and there are lots of questions about how this could happen.
Correspondent Mathias Bölinger reporting from Zhengzhou in the center of China's flood zone. Thanks for your reporting.